When you're down in trouble and you need a helping hand, and nothing, oh, nothing is going right. Just close your eyes and think of me, and soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest night. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running just to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, fall, all you gotta do is call, and I'll be there. Yes, I will. Now ain't it good to know that you've got a friend when people can be so cold? They'll hurt you and they'll desert you. They'll take your soul if you let them. Oh, but don't you let them. No, no. Yes, you just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running just to see you again. Spring, summer, or fall, all you gotta do is call, and I'll be there. Yes, I will. And I'll be there. Yes, I will. Yes, I'll be there. Yes, I will. You got a friend.
Jason.
Good morning.
Yay. I love it when he comes with his blonde hair every once in a while.
Oh, yeah.
We check you out, you know.
Yeah.
We do. Hi, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Granada Hills Center for Spiritual Living. My name is Maureen Hoyt. For those who do not know, I was the former pastor here for 14 and a half years before Reverend Mike came on board. So I get to be here in his stead today, but there is a really, really good possibility that next Sunday, he'll be back in the pulpit. So if I haven't told tales out of school, too bad, Mike. If you're on live stream this morning, we welcome you from all parts of the world. Thibaut in France, all Reverend Mike's relatives in Ireland, and people in other parts of Europe tune in to hear Reverend Mike speak. Don't be disappointed. I'll do a good job. There you go. All right, our call to service is called Lighting the Flames of Faith. And we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from that one great universal presence which we call spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. As Reverend Nancy lights the first candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the third candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the sixth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the ninth candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. We light the 10th candle for all those who are as yet unaware of the power and presence of Spirit in their lives and the space we hold for them at this center and in our hearts, as Reverend Mike would say. And as Reverend Nancy lights the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of anyone you wish to have experienced the healing flame of God's eternal love, and most especially anyone and everyone who has been displaced by the fires or injured in any way by their experience of the fires. So this morning, our presider, doing double duty, she has been doing since we've been without Reverend Mike. I want you to give a big hand to Reverend Nancy Woods this morning. Thank you.
Did I miss the song?
I mean, we kind of skipped it, but we can hit it right now. You want to hit it? Let's do it. It's a beautiful song.
Do it.
There we go.
I like it.
There is one flame that burns in our hearts. There is one light that shines through our love. We light this flame with faith. We light this flame with faith. We find this light within our soul. There is one flame, one light within.
And in this wonderful energy of knowing that this divine presence, this light within each and every one of us, is what's filling this room with the sense of love and harmony and peace. And as we grasp that understanding, that awareness, we allow ourselves to let go and relax into the idea that Spirit has gathered us together today to bring about a greater and more divine expression of its presence. And knowing that each and every one of the souls that are within not only the ones in sound of my voice, but the ones here, we all, we have come to this place in this time to let our souls to be enriched even more with the idea that we are the gift of the divine in expression. This gift of being who and what we are is expanded by everything that unfolds in this hour together. Through the music, We are enriched with the joy of the creative expression of being. Through the message, we are expanded in the wisdom of living a life from this place. And from each other, we are receiving the love, that wondrous energy of being in all its many ways and its divine presence. So with this in mind, we open ourselves to a divine event, a spirit is blessing moment by moment. And together we acknowledge this as we say, and so it is. Thank you all for being here. I am so appreciative that everybody's continuing to support this lovely home that we have here. And I'm grateful for all the new people that are joining us in sharing in this place of love and spiritual enrichment. It is a wondrous journey that we are on. Because I know that each one of us are on it in our own way. I am having a pretty good time of utilizing these principles through these waters of, I don't know what kind of waters you call now, what's going on in our lives and all around us. But one of the things that I've learned from this experience is that when I focus on living life by principles, and I think that I've been put in that place recently where I really am clinging to these principles even more than I ever have. But I would say I'm not disappointed. I am feeling like I'm blessed more and more. And each experience that I've had in the last few weeks and last couple of months, the spiritual presence of life has said yes to me in so many different ways. So I have to say that the so-called disorders that I'm experiencing in society are yet the way in which I am learning to grow and to embrace the principles even more. So I'm not here to complain about them, but I am here to say thank you for the growth. Thank you for the ability to learn from life's stresses and staying in a place of feeling blessed. One of the things that I read with, I think it's Emma Curtis Hopkins. I'm trying to read these books for this class, so I'm not sure whether it was Emerson, Curtis Hopkins, or Troy. But learning to live life by commanding the spiritual presence of life to, I'm trying to remember how it's not word for word. Learn how to live life from commanding the universe to deliver its blessings. Now, command, that is an interesting word, but I've been trying it recently. And you know, I had to learn, I feel like I learned that you command, because we have been taught that when people command, it's kind of like a push against life. But when you command from the place of spirit, it's commanded from the place of faith, of love. And it's not in contradiction of anything, but in alignment with everything. Because you are commanding the divine presence to deliver the good of the universe. And as long as I stay with the idea that I'm commanding the good, not disrupting something, nice things happen. And I think that this is a wonderful time for all of us to reach in our basket of awareness and embrace the true meaning of these principles. I mean, if you can it's just like, just grab any principle any day and see how much we can live out of it. The principles are very effective. They really do a lot of good things for our lives. And we are in an environment in which we can really practice. We are a community that is living in the energy of love. And we are the best people in the world to practice and demonstrate the power of truth and how it can guide our lives. And I am glad to be on this team with y'all. It's kind of a nice place to be. And the gift of creativity in its fullest. Let us have it.
I keep fighting voices in my head that say I'm not enough. Every single lie that tells me I will never measure up. Am I more than just the sum of every high and every low? Remind me once again just who I am, because I need to know. Oh, you say I'm loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I'm strong when I think I am weak. You say I'm held when I am falling short, and when I don't belong. You say I'm yours, and I believe. Oh, I believe what you say to me. The only thing that matters now is everything you think of me. In you I find my worth, in you I find my identity. Oh, as you say I'm loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I'm strong when I think I am weak. You say I'm held when I am falling short, and when I don't belong. Yes, you say I'm yours, and I believe. Oh, I believe in what you say to me. Well, I'm taking all I have and I'm laying it at your feet. You'll have every failure, yes, you'll have every victory.
Divine creativity at its best. Yeah, that's nice. Thank you. I'm supposed to do the announcements. There's always a practitioner available for a 2-minute tune-up. So if there's somewhere you want to go, somewhere you want to be, and something you want to express, get a practitioner to treat for you. Bless them and yourself. There's always practitioners available online at CSLGH.org. Today at 1 p.m., the Law of Attraction is meeting online, and the information up there, which means that you can contact Emily at joyvibrations@gmail.com. Monday, January the 13th, the SUM? Spiritual Unity Movement is having their full moon meditation ceremony. So join them at 6:55 here at the center. On Wednesday, January the 13th, Saga returns at 9:30 with Vinu, one of our practitioners, who the group, I think they're studying the 4 Agreements with Miguel Ruiz. And I just finished that with a book club. That's really a powerful book to reread after I'm about 25 years in. It's really. So join her on Wednesday. You can do it online or in person. But please contact her if you're interested in being part of the group. Wednesday, January the 15th, Tibetan Bowls, Wayne is going to bless us with an opportunity to meditate to the healing energy of music. Let's say music. Tibetan Bowls. It is always a wonderful, wonderful experience. So join him for that. On January the 16th, we're going to start on Thursday. Nancy Shriver is going to start her Tai Chi class. And this is a gift she's given to the church, so it's donation to join the class. She is truly a master in this, and she's been doing it for years, and she does it for outside agencies, so she's going to gift it to the church. And that would be Thursday from 11:30 to 12:30. Gosh, I got a lot of announcements. On Thursday, there's an ongoing AA meeting from 7 to 8 p.m., and everybody is invited to join us for that. And you're going to contact Liz at 818-640-2458 if you have any questions. Monday, January the 20th, Andre and I are starting a class, and as I mentioned, Emma Hopkins, and Troy are probably the teachers that influence Ernest Holmes the most. And they're all interesting, all intriguing, but they sure challenge your thinking. So we're starting that class on Monday, January the 20th, from 6:30 to 9. And we have a gratitude box. Barbara is going to, sure.
Okay, I've picked it out already. And it's a long one. Someone's very grateful, which I am grateful for that. I am grateful for a loving, healthy, productive children. I am grateful for the body's ability to heal. I am grateful for my creative mind. Yes.
Covered it all.
That's everything, huh? Yeah. So now, would you stand and say the Declaration of Principles with me? We believe in one universal spirit manifesting through all, natural and incarnate in us. We believe that the universal spirit is personal, true, and reveals itself through everyone who recognizes its presence. We believe that our faith operates upon the law of mind, which automatically manifests in our experience according to that faith. We believe in the unity of all life, immortality of individual souls, forever expanding. We believe in eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the givingness of life to all.
Heaven's inside of me. Heaven's inside of me. Oh, the spirit and nature within and without. Now that I know that God's right here, right now. Yes, heaven's inside of me. Yeah, heaven's inside of you. Heaven's inside of you. Oh, the spirit and nature within and without. Now that you know that God's right here, right now. Yes, heaven's inside of you. Yes, heaven's inside of us. Heaven's inside of us. Oh, the spirit and nature within and without. Now that I know that God's right here, right now. Yes, heaven's inside of us. Yes, heaven's inside of us. Heaven's inside of us.
Yay. All right. So good morning again. Good morning. Yes, yes. If you're here for the first time, it's just a reminder to let you know that this center honors all who are on their spiritual pathway, who practice their beliefs in faith and love. So if that's you, you're in the right place. You're in the right place. This is one of my favorite months of the year for teaching the science of mind. And it's interesting, after 35 years as a minister, how do you do something different for the first 4 chapters of the Science of Mind textbook, right? Where do you come up with that? Helen Street used to say, every Sunday I come here talking about love. And she said, I have to find diverse ways to do that. So the thing about the 4 Roman numeral chapters is that they're the definitive chapters, the definitive teaching of the Science of Mind in 4 chapters. I mean, maybe 40 pages worth, right? The rest of the Science of Mind textbook is interpreted. The 1936 version of the Science of Mind textbook was edited by a woman named Maud Allison Latham. And unfortunately, a lot of her own personal biases showed up in her editing process of this. But if you get the 1938 version, the 1926 version of the Science of Mind, it is totally and completely all Ernest Holmes. And it was designed as a workbook, text, and then at the end of the chapter would be the diagrams and would be the definitions of what he was teaching in each individual chapter. What we get to do is interpret these first 4 chapters for today's life experience. Last Sunday, Reverend Nancy did a stellar job of speaking to the first chapter, which is the thing itself. And growing up Catholic, I would have been severely chastised by the parish priest if I had called God thing, God's thing, or even just thing. And I would have been assigned some sort of penance to get back into God's grace, something. I'd have to say 12 Hail Marys or whatever. Just so you know, that's not how it works, according to Ernest Holmes. the founder of the original Institute of Religious Science. Okay, so here's the deal. Going back to the first chapter, my name, Maureen, doesn't define who I am. Margot doesn't define who Margot is. Brian doesn't define who Brian is. Annette doesn't define who Annette is. Barbara, just think about this. We are named something that doesn't define us. We're defined by the consciousness that comes before us. God is a word that is a placeholder, simply that, for something that is indefinable, that is ineffable. And it's a placeholder in the same way the word God is a placeholder, as I said, for the indefinable. I have to move my PowerPoint so you know what I'm talking about. The word spirit is a placeholder. We cannot define God. And you know, when you take your oral panels for your ministerial license, it's one of the trick questions that they ask you. 3 panelists will say, Nancy, define God. And Nancy, in her own individualized brilliance, will say, I cannot define God. I can only define the nature of God. So that's the answer that you give for the indefinable. I cannot define God. I can define the nature of God. And the nature of God is loving, peaceful, generous, and giving. And again, Maureen does not define me. The energy I convey defines me. You know, my generosity, my loving nature, Margot's loving nature, her generosity, Brian's loving nature, his generosity. I could go on and on and on with the adjectives that define who we are, not our names. So Ernest Holmes said, our consciousness comes before us in all things. People know who we are even before we open our mouths. And after that, it's often too late. Thank you, yes. Someone once said it's better to remain silent and be thought a fool than to open our mouths and remove all doubt. So it's probably the ultimate definition of having to eat our words. Anybody have to do that periodically? Yes. You know, while the words are coming out, my brain is saying, I shouldn't be saying this. And yet I do, right? Okay, so this week, now we understand God, we understand spirit, we understand the universe, they're placeholders for the indefinable. And yet we can experience the indefinable. And that's the beauty of Nancy's creative thought this morning. She used the word disappointment. I discovered some time ago that the root word for disappointment is failure to keep our appointment with God. Think about that. When we're disappointed in something, my daughter's in this talk this morning. She's not going to be happy about that. But one time she said to me, when I told her I was disappointed in her, and she said, Mom, hands on hips, looking at me with her snake eyes, said, Mom, I can't do anything about your disappointment. You can love me or you can hate me, but I can't do anything about your disappointment. That's on you. Oh my God. I went off on this for 3 weeks after she said it. And she was absolutely right. Absolutely right. I could be disappointed in her behavior, but not disappointed in her. Never, ever. And she set me straight on that. So this week we're talking about how God works in our lives. How God works for us, it does it through us. That God so loved itself that it needed form to express, and it expresses as each and every person in this room this morning, and every person in the entire world born into this existence. Now, the very first time I heard that in class, it made my head spin. Every person, even the people I don't like, yeah, every person. Well, that can't be true. That can't be true. Not just me and you, everyone. And yet, here I am almost 45 years later sharing this little nugget with you. And so most of you are already on the bandwagon with this one. I learned another new word a few weeks ago, pronoia, the belief that the world is secretly conspiring in our favor. Pronoia, as opposed to paranoia, which is the exact opposite. You know, this is the basis and truth for this chapter. I believe that the world is conspiring in my favor because this is what the universe, the force, God intended by bringing us into being at this time and place. We've suffered greatly this past week on so many different levels. I'm not going to lie. I experienced a little PTSD myself, remembering when my house burned in the Hill Fire in 2019. Now, mine didn't burn to the ground, but there were several in my complex that did burn to the ground. Mine was saved by my neighbor who came back to get his mom, saw my house burning and saw the leaves around the base of my house burning and used my own hose to put out the fire. And when Pam, the next door neighbor, had no idea we'd been evacuated, she went down the street and the fire department was using our street as a staging area. And she told him my house was on fire. So the thing is, angels abound when certain things happen in our lives. Firefighter told her, get on your way, we'll take care of the house. Don't worry. Well, she didn't worry. They did take care of my house. They kicked down my front door. They opened my roof up and saved my house. And they left me a sweet note saying, we're so sorry we kicked your door in and ruined your front door, but we did save your house. Sincerely, Ventura County Fire Department. That's something I'll never forget. There is nothing to say for those who lost everything, material, everything that they'd acquired, and those who lost their lives in staying back and trying to save their homes and their belongings. I discovered when I saw some political posts on Facebook that the best thing we can all do is just be quiet. Just keep our mouths shut. Don't blame anyone or anything for what happened. Just be quiet and love everyone on their journey of loss and suffering. This is not a God-ordained disaster. Make no mistake about this. A friend posted this on Facebook this past week. Her mother was a Christian Scientist. She said, it's not the back that hurts, but the weight you carry. It's not the eyes that hurt us, but the injustice or what we have to see. It's not the head that hurts, it's the thoughts inside it. It's not the neck that hurts, but what we don't express and what we say in anger. It's not our stomach that hurts, it's what our soul doesn't digest. It's not the liver that hurts us, it's the anger we carry that hurts us. It's not our heart that is hurting you or anyone else, but the absence of love. And know that love is the most powerful medicine on the planet. This girl's name is Samua Orang. This grandmotherly lesson personifies this chapter. The way it works is through us and our awareness that we are cause to our own effect. You know, that's such a hard pill to swallow when we're first in the science of mind. You know, how can I be cause to my own effect when this person did this or that person did that or this happened or that happened? The tendency to victim consciousness is huge when a disaster of this magnitude comes upon us. I've already heard certain people who shall remain nameless say, why would God do this to us? Well, Ernest explained it rather nicely. He said, the life which we live is the universal life, God, expressing through us, else how could we live? And what he means by that is, there is no God of my understanding that would do anything like this to us. There is something happening that, whether we realize it or not at the outset, that there is a message in this for us to make change. You know, as Gloria Steinem said in the 60s, you know, change doesn't occur by complacence or contentment. It only occurs by irritation. And there's a lot of irritated people out here in Los Angeles County right now. Irritated is probably mild compared to what they're really feeling. And all that will have to come to the forefront in order for us to make some changes. God didn't do anything to create the fires or car accidents or ill health. It is human error, whether in thinking or doing. I know that that's difficult sometimes to wrap our heads around, and a bitter pill to swallow and too soon for us to think about. So right now, it's about addressing our own thoughts and emotions and our reaction to what's happening. And this is the use that we make of this law of mind, what God does or how God works in our lives, is the use that we make consciously or unconsciously to what is going on in our lives. You know, some of us are on automatic pilot. I was prior to a couple of weeks ago. When we know better, we do better. That's really the mantra for today. When we know better, we do better. The more I began to understand the creative power of the universe, the more I understood my life and my experiences as unconscious choices, which no longer served me. It's what Mary Manon Morrissey talked about in her Prosperity Plus class. Are we living life from default or by design? So maybe many of us up until this awakening last week were living our lives by default. You know, been there, done that, one step at a time, going in the same direction all the time, using the same freeway, traveling the same route, not paying attention to what's going on around us. Which is it? Design, when we begin to design our life experience, there is no more blame. There's no more pointing fingers or you made me do this messages. None of that shows up. Whoa, what? I have to take full responsibility for the way my life works? For years, I wanted the kid's dad to be responsible for the demise of our relationship. And then, one of my most beloved teachers pointed out to me that only as long as I continued in the relationship could I blame him. Now, think that one out. How many relationships do we continue in vilifying the other person, but we continue to stay there? We're friends with people that we don't like. We have relatives that we'd rather not go visit. You know, you giggle. That's okay. You can giggle. We all have one or two in our families. You know, playing the victim role is not an attractive place to be. It really isn't. You know, you have friends who are always whining and complaining about things happening to them. This person did this person did that, this person did the other thing. And then you come away, well, there's 90 minutes I'll never get back from my life, you know, after you've listened to this diatribe. Hearing that from my beloved teacher, playing the victim is not attractive. Now I had someone else to blame for feeling bad. You know, it was an interesting time for me, but I later learned that the seed that she planted in me was stronger than my need to continue in a relationship that no longer served me. And as much as I wanted him to be wrong and her to be wrong, Change would never happen for me if I stayed. We cannot hate anyone or anything and love anyone or anything at the same time. They're mutually exclusive. They are. So here you go. We can be a kind person and still say no. Practice our needs. Set boundaries. Disagree with people. Be honest. Challenge poor behavior. Walk away from toxic environments. Make mistakes. Stand up for ourselves. Protect our time and space. At 12 years old, my daughter reminded me that no is a complete sentence. No. You know, all of these characteristics on this little meme, the one that means the most and carries with it all the rest is set boundaries. If we do that, none of the other stuff on here is going to matter. When we do that, we're comfortable with all the rest of those decisions that we make. So how receptive are we to a principle which in and of itself is unlimited? How receptive are we? Can we move from poverty to prosperity just through our thinking? We need an unequivocal yes on that one. Do we embrace the best in life not because we've earned it or deserve it, but because it's our divine right? Yes. The answer to all these questions is yes. And yet, there's a caveat. How receptive are we? How receptive are we? Spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer works on our behalf to the degree that we believe that we live in an unlimited universe and dare say, I believe I deserve to be healthy, wealthy, and happy. You know, what's my desirability quotient? What's my percentage? 25%? 50%? Or 100%? What's our receptivity percentage? 25%, 50%, or 100%? Up until Tuesday of last week, I experienced 100% belief that when I hit the switch on the wall, the lights would go on. By Friday, it was a lowly 0%. 4 days later, no power, well, Keith told me I can't say that anymore, no power. No electricity, I always have power. I always have power. How many of us, you know, I went into the bathroom in the middle of the night and tried to turn the light on. I mean, it's such a silly thing when you think about it, laughing my way to the toilet, you know. I did find humor in a lot of it, by the way. So there are five things to practice in 2025. Let it go, accept what is, let them, trust in timing, and look for glimmers. When someone triggers us, just let it go. They're only showing us where we need to heal. There's no point in me wishing my reality is something else. I can start where I am with what I have. If a person in my life wants to leave, I let them. If they want to be unhappy, let them. Let everyone have their own experience. We do not have to participate in it. When we trust in timing, we know that everything happens exactly as it should and when it's best for us. This might be a difficult position to take when we see the devastation of the fires last week. It's all right to feel compassion for somebody else and to be glad at the same time that we aren't in the same position. It's all right. It's all right to know that the possibility of restoring our spiritual equilibrium comes by putting one foot in front of the other, one prayer in front of the other. Glimmers are the opposites of triggers. They are the tiny moments of joy when evacuated people find their lost pets. Or can retrieve some treasure from the rubble. Notice the joyful things and keep the faith. As Ernest says, knowing God can work for us by working through us, let us begin today to accept more good than we experienced yesterday, and to know that we will reap a harvest of fulfilled desires. So the question then becomes, are we there yet? Like everyone here, I am a work in progress. Now, I don't say this from an egotistical perspective, but I'm the greatest project I've ever worked on. Seriously. You know, if you knew me when and know me today, you would wonder what happened to that person from all those years ago. Well, it's called building a consciousness of truth with a capital T, knowing that God is all there is. My consciousness is what I work on daily. I do. Sometimes I whine and pule, and I get over it sooner than later. You know, I remember a story a long time ago when Dr. J. Scott Neal was with Fenwick Holmes, Ernest Holmes' brother, and he came in and he was mad as a wet hornet, just going, you know, dun, 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 dun. This person did this, and this person did this, and Fenwick just sat back in his chair and he said, Jay, how long do you plan on being mad? 3 weeks? Jay looked at him and went, I don't know. 3 days? He said, well, I don't know. He goes, 3 hours. And Jay started laughing and he said, look, Jay, 3 minutes is long enough. Your time is up. Your time is up. So I want you to know something today. You are the greatest project you'll ever work on. Restart, reset, refocus as many times as you need. And don't just give up on yourself, knowing with God all things are possible. Thank you. Good morning. Jason again. Yay.
All right, feel free to sing along with this one if you want to.
When the night has come, and the land is dark, and the moon is the only we see. No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't shed a tear. Just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. If the sky that we look upon should tumble and fall, or the mountains should crumble to the sea, I won't cry, no, I will not shed a tear. Just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. Stand by me. Stand by me.
so blessed. Did you know it's National Ginger Day? Yes, today. You can hug a redhead. There's one back there. I love that. I could hardly wait to say that today. An interesting, something interesting that you should know about how things get paid forward. We received an unexpected gift, large gift from the Fresno Center for Spiritual Living this week. And Reverend Mike had already made a decision to gift a very large financial gift to the Pasadena CSL, Ahaya. Several, and I say several in that I'm not sure if I remember if it was 7 or 11 families lost everything from their center. And so he petitioned, he has sent an email to do an email vote before next Sunday because the board meeting isn't till then, for us to be able to give this money to Pasadena that they can feed and house people at the church. They had no place to go. The Civic Center was filled to the brim. So they opened their doors, as did the Episcopal Church that's on El Molino, did the same thing. But they have pews at Ahaya, so people could actually sleep. They didn't have to bring in cots or move furniture or anything. But the cost of feeding and the heat and providing blankets and everything. So we are doing that for them. And the only way we could have done anything like this is by the generosity of this congregation through this last couple of months, and especially through December, making generous contributions to CSL Granada Hills, that we are incredibly fortunate to be able to help financially. And even though they're doing clothing drives and toiletry drives, and they're doing diapers and baby stuff and everything, people just came with the clothes on their back. And until they let us know exactly what is needed, we will start collecting things, and then they can distribute them accordingly. As there's some guy that has everything anybody could need. So I think in a way that offers an opportunity to give in a way that you'll never be recognized for. And the good part of that is cleaning out your own closets. Okay, make room for something new to show up. And clean out the closets. And Nancy, I'm going to stand by you as you do that. I'm going to tell on her. She has a 3-bedroom house, and she uses all 3 closets. So, how many clothes can you wear? Okay, so that's the last thing. I know that I'm digressing a little bit here. I can't find the order of service. What are we doing here? The offering. Oh, well, how appropriate. How appropriate. So, Chloe, sweet Chloe, will you bring the basket forward? And if today you find yourselves in a position to put a little extra in, I am joyfully in a position to be able to do that. I tallied up all the gift cards I got for Christmas, and so today it shows up on my my offering, my tithe for today. So because I'm not going to do the big long treatment that Reverend Mike does, because he does such a stellar job of that, but how about holding your gift in your hand for a minute and repeating after me? Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, to prosper, and to bless. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I joyously contribute to the vision of this center, my center, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is. Come on up, put it. And if you're paying online, that's wonderful too. And we are going to figure out the Zelle in the next week or so. Apparently, I messed it up by putting it under Church of Religious Science. And so they opened up a new Zelle for us, and so our QR code doesn't work anymore. Trying to do something good and then having it fail pitifully. But now I think we have it figured out. All right, take it away, Jason.
Spirit gives through me, Spirit receives through me, Spirit lives and breathes through me. Spirit lives and breathes through me. Spirit gives through us, Spirit receives through us, Spirit lives and breathes through us. Spirit lives and breathes through us.
So it's with the consciousness of gratitude, we thank Spirit for the wonderful message, for the gifts that has been given forth, and for everything that this center has. And as we open our hearts and mind to go forth to live these truths that have been shared with us, I'll clean out my closet. Knowing that the spiritual presence of life really is in us, and we choose to use it today, moment by moment. And with this love in our heart and the joy of knowing this truth, we go forth to live the blessing of it. And together we acknowledge it by saying, and so it is.
All right, the peace song.
All right, peace song. Please join me in singing the peace song. All right, here we go. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as a power, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow.